Hey there friends, it's Vanessa from Vanessa Jordan Photography, and today I'll be teaching you how to create your own brochure from scratch in InDesign. Sometimes you just have a really great idea and you can't find a template online that matches what you're looking for, and you really have no idea how to create it from scratch, so you just settle with something that you may not even like. Today that's going to change, so without further ado, let's get started.
Hi guys, so we are going to start by talking about the different types of brochures and what type of brochures there are out there, because there are so many, but these are pretty standard. So there's the bifold, which is just one fold, a Z fold, which looks like a Z, the accordion fold, the roll fold, gate fold, double parallel fold, double gate, French fold. Those are all pretty standard different types of brochures, and it really depends on what type of, I guess you could say, like interactive style that you want with these brochures and how much information you do want to put on them. So today I'm going to teach you how to set up a bifold brochure and kind of how to edit that. I have past videos on how to edit different templates, which has a lot of the same type of tools and skills and tricks on how to edit these types of brochures to create it and make it your own. So I'm not going to dive too deep into that, but I'm going to help you and show you how to set it up. So let's open InDesign and we're going to say create new. So a big thing that you want to keep in mind for when you create brochures in any sort of document is that you need to know the final size of this document. So like all flat laid out, you want to know the final size, and you also want to know the final size of it folded. So for this particular brochure, it's going to be the size of a printer sheet, a typical printer sheet of paper. And if you fold it in half, that would be the final size of the brochure. So a lot of printers that I have personally run into like to have these different pages or artboards on separate artboards instead of one page. But if you're printing this out yourself, I would recommend creating a piece that's 8.5 by 11 horizontally and then divide it in half. So then you can have one side printed, which would be the front and the back, and then one side printed would be the center. So but for what we're doing, we're going to be setting up a file for sending it off to a printer. So let's name this package brochure. And so it has it set at 8.5 by 11, but we actually want that to be in half. So math, that would be, the height would stay the same, so then the width would be 5.5. And then we want 4 pages because it would be the front, 2 pages for the middle, and then the back. And then you'd want to start on page 1. The column is fine, the column gutter is fine. Margins, that's pretty standard. And bleed and slug, that is like the bleed line. So I would recommend having a 1/4 inch bleed line around the document. So say create, and it will load and take its sweet time as it does. All right, so then the bleed line is this red line. So that's kind of where you want extra to hang over, but something you want to keep in mind, I'm zooming out, so that's Command minus, is that the center is connected. So your bleed would just be on this side and this side, which would be the same thing for this page and this page. So that is something you need to keep in mind, that the bleed would only be on the right side for the front page and on the left for the back page. So hopefully before you set up this document, you kind of know what you want to do, what you want to say, what your brochure is going to entail. a lot of times when I'm designing, I sketch it out on a sheet of paper first before I even dive into the document itself to set it up. So I kind of have a rough idea of what I want to do, but I want to show you a couple tips and tricks on different things when you're setting it up. So for the front page, I am thinking of having like a beautiful wedding scene in the background, or senior scene. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do, but this little guy is the rectangle frame tool. So you can drag and drop this different shapes or different rectangles, and that is where you can have like a placeholder. If you're not exactly sure, but you know where things are going to be blocked out, that's also a good way to just kind of come in here and just drag different rectangles of saying, okay, I want this element here and this element there. So this then, when you hit your selection tool, you'll be able to place right directly in there. So I'll show you that. So we can do Command D or File, Place. So then, since I haven't created a brochure for my seniors yet, I'm gonna go into my senior pictures, go into class of 2019, because I have some really good pictures from that. And you wanna use the full size images. Make sure you do that. Always, always, always use full size images. So there's a picture of the senior that I really, really like. Yeah, this one is really pretty. So I'll open that and it'll place in there. If it comes up as this, don't worry. Hit the circle and you can come over here to these little tools and it'll fit the frame proportionally. Perfect. See how beautiful that looks now? Another tip that I want to give you as you're setting things up is having different columns in your document. So if you want to have text that's going to run in 2 different columns, let's make a text box. Select the text tool and make a text box. And then we can go up to layout and margin and columns. So you can create more than one column. So let's make 2 columns, and that is probably going to be for the entire document, but that's okay. These are just for these pages. If you wanted it just for this page, you can select over here where your master pages are, go up to layout, margin, and columns. Yeah, that's 2. So then we can go back to this side and go up to margin and columns and bring it down to 1. Perfect. Okay, so you have your text box. Now that you have a gutter in between, which will tell you the perfect amount of space that will go in between each column, you can size it to that gutter. So then when you place it with filler text, which InDesign is great that you can place it with placeholder text, you can continue it onto the next column. So let's drag and make a new guy. And let's say this is that much longer. Just want to get the vibe for you. So let's say I make it smaller and see this little plus. So that means there's extra text that is running below the line. So you can click that and you can let it continue on this side. So you'll have a constant flow of text, which is pretty awesome. So then as you edit it, let's say I don't like this line, as you edit it, it will edit with it. It'll go up and down as you need it to, so you don't have to shift and move things around. So another tip I want to give you guys before you jump in with all of your tools and learning how to create different things, I want to show you the master. So if you double click on this master, it brings you up this blank page. Now, this is an amazing, amazing tool. So let's say you want to put your website or page numbers at the bottom of the page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Vanessa Jordan Photography, if I can spell that correctly, at the bottom of the page. So now on the bottom of every page, it will say Vanessa Jordan Photography. Just kind of a way to keep it, be reminded. Now, if you then go back in, poof, there it is. It's going to repeat on every single page that is like that. So that is something really cool that you can do if you want to have like a logo on everything, then you don't want to have to go in and keep changing it and moving it. It will always appear, so then it won't be edited unless you go back into that master. So then your document is set up and you're ready to go. Make sure you save constantly, save all the time, because before you know it, you'll be done or your computer crashes and you're like, no, I lost everything. Speaking from a graphic designer myself, please save. I beg of you, please save. So yeah, you are all set to design your own brochure. I'll link the other videos down below of other tutorials that I set up to show you how to use these particular tools to edit this brochure, but you're ready to go.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you head to the link in the description to head over to my shop to download all the other templates that I have for sale. From business cards to posters and brochures and everything in between, there's something perfect for every business. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter to follow along with all of my day-to-day adventures. Make sure you give this video a like if you like it and comment down below what else you want to see from me. And make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon so you're notified every time I post a new video. Until next time, bye guys!